Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. Part 1 of episode 72 is finally out, in which we see the meeting between GMAN and Astro Toilet, as well as the return of Cameraman the scientist, who you may remember was a friend of Plunger. But what's most interesting is that it turns out that the containers are not one thing, but two. And today I will tell you who will win in this legendary battle. And of course, you'll find out the real reason why Astro Toilet wants to punish GMAN. You'll be surprised, but it's not because of his old actions. It's a different problem. And also, as usual, I'll give you all the details and secrets that you'll love. So make sure you watch this video to the end, and give it a like, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because 90% of viewers watch my videos without subscribing. Let's fix that. Anyways, here we go. From the very first frames, we see that this is a direct continuation of episode 70. Cameraman the scientist, who is the POV here, witnessed his friend Plunger die. And he, of course, didn't like that news, so we see him slap his hand. Who doesn't know, I'll remind you that he was friends with Plunger before he had a mechanical exoskeleton. We can also see here that he's improved and has iron arms and new red lasers on top. Let's move on. But we'll come back to this character later today, as he's very important to the story, and I'll explain why shortly. Suddenly, the POV cameraman sees the same Swat Skibidi mutant we saw in the leak of footage. But judging by the way he shoots the missiles, he has vision or brain problems because he hit the car, not the cameraman. After we hit him with lasers, he disappeared behind a building. The next Skibidi mutant was killed by a powerful fist and lasers. And the third one, although it broke the tablet a little bit, but again, it was successfully eliminated with the help of a knife, which extended from the mechanical arm. And with the help of lasers, another Skibidi mutant is killed. After that, we see that there are more and more of them coming towards us, but they are nothing compared to this Swat Skibidi mutant, which has returned and killed 2 cameramen with one blow, and is confidently advancing towards us. He does a lot of damage to us with his weapon. This weapon, by the way, is a reference to the wolf weapon from the Puss in Boots 2 cartoon. And these symbols on his weapon mean how many times he killed the same cat, because, as we know, according to legend, cats have 9 lives. Most likely, this character in the Skibidi Toilet series also tried to kill a certain character, but that character was constantly revived. This character could even be just the POV of the scientist cameraman, since he came back many times with the help of agent technology. And this SWAT mutant already wanted to kill us finally, but he was suddenly saved by the improved spider cameraman. We saw him a long time ago, but now he has improved a lot. SWAT mutant, even his armor couldn't help him, so he fell down and started sparking. And then we see Shepard's Skibidi from the Call of Duty game, which is another cool reference. That one, even with his huge missiles, couldn't break the fully enhanced spider cameraman, and of course gets a critical response from the spider, with him dying with a meme scream. POV cameraman throws respect to the spider for saving his life and goes to finish off the SWAT mutant. First, he kills an extra toilet Skibidi toilet with toilet paper and already wants to hit his own enemy with a weapon. The one at this moment shows his middle finger, and it does not help him to save himself, and only a miracle can help him in this situation. And this miracle happens. He looks at us with a sly face, because on the battlefield comes G-Man himself and his team. He clears the battlefield with his moving lasers, and is only repulsed by the fearless Spider-Man. And it turns out that he has a defense in the form of an energy shield. This shield is very similar to the one we saw on Cameraman Titan in episode 64. And unfortunately, Spider-Man is killed by the power of G-Man's lasers. Like it, if you feel sorry for him, press F. But that's not all the agent's losses. It turns out that our cameraman's robot is also broken and in critical condition. So it starts to spark and then explodes. When we look up, we can see the additions to the G-Man's team. By the distinctive voice and hat, we can spot Michael Jackson's Skibidi in the sky. We last saw him in episode 69, and in the same hallway was the meeting between G-Man and the construction workers. So they saw Michael Jackson and helped open the door. You can also spot our old friend DJ Skibidi Toilet here. He levitates instead of flying, which means that he is not a regular Skibidi Toilet, because regular ones need either jetpacks or helicopter blades to fly. in addition to them, there are also regular builders here. But the most interesting thing is the presence of a second container. As we know from episode 71 and Dafuk Boom's answer to my question, these containers contain the unfinished last project of the Skibidi scientist. And we previously thought it was only one container, but now it turns out that there are two, and maybe even more, we don't know yet. This means that the item in these containers could be something bigger than we expected. And it's not limited to the size of one container. What if these are parts to create a new robot or a very strong improvement to one of the Skibidi toilets? Write your theories in the comments and I'll be sure to do a video on this topic in the future, maybe even take your comments for that video. After that, the most interesting thing happens. A big Astro toilet appears in the battlefield and says the phrase, and then adds another phrase. Now I'll tell you where exactly GMAN violated justice and prove that it wasn't because of episode 57 or even episode 67 where he escaped from the battlefield. Yes, of course, cowardice and constant running away is also most likely. According to the laws of Astro toilets, means a violation of justice, which is punishable by punishment. However, here we are talking about treason. First of all, he gathered his team and escaped from the lab, and this is already an official separation from the General Army. Secondly, he literally left the scientist alone to die and did not even try to save him. What's also interesting about this speech is how the Astro toilet calls GMAN. He addresses him with the word commander, meaning that even when the scientist was alive, GMAN was a recognized commander. By the way, this scene already explains why he killed DJ Skibidi in episode 70 without even blinking an eye, and also why he killed that poor construction worker here. Because the point is that these Skibidi toilets are going against the system along with GMAN. And that's why they are also, shall we say, wanted and need to be punished. As promised at the beginning, I'll tell you what I think about the development of the cameraman scientist's POV. I'm sure that he will still appear in the series, because he has a perfect storyline, and I think all the viewers will be interested in how he will look for the culprit of the death of his friend, Plunger, and what will happen when he realizes that this death is the work of the secret agent. And honestly, besides this storyline, there are two other very cool trends that I've noticed watching the last two episodes. And so expect that to be revealed in the future. This episode also shows us a new side of GMAN, because usually he would run away from the battlefield, but here it's like a fake GMAN from episode 65 started to heat up his lasers. This also confirms Dafuk Boom's answer from one of the interviews. As you remember, he said that GMAN has plans for everything, and without a plan, he certainly wouldn't risk his life so much. I'm sure he'll be able to survive this fight and save somehow, but how that will be, I'll tell you in part 2 of the analysis. If you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Bye.